Awesome. And we are live. Sweet. Yeah, so like I was just saying before we hit the go live button on YouTube, we're gonna use this
Yeah, I think you
Now we can't hear you.
of
You dropped out.
great. That's awesome. On the network I can that sucks. Oh well, we'll see how
others help lead.
Yeah, that might be helpful. Manila or Tierney, do you want to drive?
Sure. Manila, do you want to take it or do you want me to?
Sure. Let me just put on headphones so I don't get distracted by the noise that's happening around me. Hey folks, welcome to the live stream of Website Redesign. So on the agenda today, as far as I can tell, some of the things we have are a little bit behind because there have been some fast movements in a separate repo called Website Prototype. The reasons for that are because there are some deadlines to meet to get some content up on Node.js.dev. That doesn't mean that we won't sync up these two repos. So that's part of the goals for today. Does it sound right, Adam, Tierney?
Yep.
Awesome. So how about this as a proposed structure? We can like shift that around. First, we could go through the items that we actually do have on website redesign in the meeting agenda and just identify the ones that, okay, it's a little bit out of date. Let's just skip this for now. And then we'll hop over to the open issues on website prototype and then grab the ones from there and somehow sync up. We can work on that right now. How does that work?
So keeping website prototype as source of truth, and I apologize to everybody on the stream, I'm very choppy. Keeping website prototype as source of truth for actual site work might help us best here. So doing a review of all open tickets and kind of getting that diff of what we feel MVP should be for when the marketing launch actually happens for Google. It would probably be a good use of our time right now, and identifying that diff of content.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like we can just shift it around then and start with the source of truth, and that way we'll know what's out of date on the website redesign then.
Awesome. And it sounds like my audio connection is not terrible right now for the second, right? So I'm going to do a quick recap of what happened over the past week. Miles got a whole bunch of infrastructure set up. So we now get, for every PR in website prototype, we get a live demo link of what that PR looks like. A great example is on website prototype, there's a PR open for mobile styles, which I'm hoping to pull in fairly soon. Hopefully by tomorrow. There's still a few bugs in there. That's PR number 21. You'll see in the comments above, a GitHub bot left a link to a demo page. And yes, pulling into master does auto-deploy to Node.js.dev right now. So as we pull into master, we'll be able to see updates. We have a functioning sidebar. We have mobile styles in the works. We have a couple PRs out for updating the README and for getting GitHub, the GitHub link added for every docs page. We have a PR out for first pass at glitch embeds from Potch. So there's a lot of stuff in flight, and hopefully a lot of stuff will be landed over the next few days to make this thing even more complete. Also, I want to call attention to a project board I started over here. Just make sure we're all aware of it. Learn page, single page site. Would love to use this to track to do, must do, in progress, and finished work.
And by over here, you mean website on the Node.js website prototype repo?
Yeah, sorry, I dropped a link in the chat. It's project board number 1 in website prototype.
Cool. Just want to make sure we capture that for the stream.
Yeah, so that's current state. So there's a few things that are must-haves, a few things that are nice-to-haves for the actual marketing launch here of this page. And I think a very good use of our time this session would be identifying what those issues are, what the diff is, and then who can take it over the next, probably over the weekend, or early next week to get it into master for, quick turnaround. Yep. Okay, I'll shut up now. Yeah. Sorry about the choppy audio.
Cool. So Manil, do you want to just kind of go through the project board and kind of go down that path?
That sounds good. I'm opening up the project board. So here we go. Learn page, single page site. So on the project board, if y'all can see this, it's project number 1 on website prototype. We have a couple columns: to do, must do, and in progress. Am I understanding correctly, Adam, when you're categorizing must do's as the things that you'd prefer that people grab from first before they go to do?
Yeah, it's in kind of priority order as I see it. If we disagree with any of like must do versus to do, then yeah. So if you're looking for a task to take, prioritize the must do column first.
Adam, so I do have a quick question. Do you care, because there's a lot of issues that aren't in this board, do you care if I add a board triage column just so we can have those issues in here and then sort those as necessary?
Totally. I typically use the add cards menu.
Okay.
That pops up from the side. It's kind of like
that's
column. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and this board is specifically for. Oh, hi.
Hello, folks.
Yeah, so this board is specifically for just the single page learn page. So like the initial governance and prettier RC and stuff like that. Probably not wouldn't go in here into like features. But yeah, that'll be a good use of our day to day is getting this thing in order so people can come in, pick up tickets, and PR them in ASAP.
Mohit added a comment right in chat that says add links to GitHub and or API docs in the top nav that should be moved to in progress. I think that's true. There has been, I think, a PR that went into that. I saw that late last night. Can't exactly remember.
Yep. There's a PR. I think it's also approved. Just need to merge, I guess.
Rad. Okay, cool. And then I suppose that'll be closed. Great. Second one that we have here, make H1, H2, and H3s from Markdown content anchor links. Okay, it seems like there needs to be, am I saying this right, Laruana? Oh, you're muted.
What exactly? Again, I'm mixed up a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was asking if I'm pronouncing your name right, Laruana.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Oh, right. It seems like the second comment over here was from you. I wonder if you want to add some context to that and point us in any work that's already been done. It seems like PR 34 was already closed from issue 18.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the comment, it will be actually better to use a larger icon to allow the plugin. I don't remember the name of it. What was that exactly? Oh, wait. Are you about the PR 38? Is it correct, or which one you do?
PR 34 is the one that's linked from issue 18.
We're still talking about 38 links in navbar. Mohit, I'm gonna pull it down and just add in a few styles to make it pretty, match the rest of the page, and then we'll pull that in. I'll get that later today.
Oh, Brad.
Yeah.
So are you on it, Adam? I understand correctly?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody else wants to take a stab, I'll be skiing today, so feel free to I won't get to it till late tonight. So if you want to go ahead and claim it, then go for it as well. Awesome. Yeah.
Were we still talking about issue 18? I just need to clarify.
Oh, I was talking about PR 38, add links to navbar. Sorry if I missed.
Oh, okay. We tracked back a little bit. Yeah,
Okay. Sorry about
I'm
that.
not. No, that's cool. That's cool. Website prototype is moving really, really fast. So I'm not sure I'm entirely current with this. So this is as useful to me as other people who haven't been following this as closely.
We're talking about 18, H1, H2, H3 now, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, awesome.
And Lorana was just adding some context to that about adding links to the appropriate section. And apparently there was a choice that was made that's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the intent for H1, H2, H3s is for them to be like anchor tag headers, so you can link directly to. We're going to need, like my comment says down there, we're going to need probably a new remark plugin to actually make them linkable, because it needs to be transformed as part of the build process. Otherwise, it's just header tags as they come through. So this ticket's going to require a little bit of research just to figure out how to best enable that. But I believe this is a remark plugin that we can just throw into Gatsby. Oh, Agiri's here. That we can just throw into Gatsby and have it start working, fingers crossed. There might be some style changes that are needed in order to make that happen. Yeah, owner, were you hoping to scoop this one
up? Who was the current owner of this?
No current owner right now.
Okay. Is there anyone on the call who would like to do that? I'm currently just adding a to-do as a comment at the bottom of this based on what Adam just said.
What's the deadline for it? Because I can't do it today or tomorrow, but I can do it after that. Like I'll take this because I've not done anything with Gatsby yet or Remark. So this seems small. I can't get it done by today or tomorrow though.
That's totally fine. If nobody else wants to scoop it up and can do it in the next day or two, like let's have Tierney take it on. I don't think this is a very nice to have, borderline must do. So I don't think it'll hurt us if it's a fast follow after launch.
Okay, right. I just dropped the link in chat in case people hadn't seen it yet. I'll be doing that for subsequent issues just so it's helpful for people to follow along. Hello, new people. Doesn't say hi. I think you were muted, so I didn't actually hear you say anything before.
Hi, guys. My name is Ali, and this is Abid. We just joined in on to the organization, and we're still trying to kind of catch up on everything that's going on. And this is our first call. We're two engineers from Lebanon in the Middle East. Right. Abid's a full stack, and I'm a front-end engineer with a passion for UX. So
awesome. Welcome.
We love Node, and it's been an integral part of our technology stack since we've started working in our business, and we'd love to contribute in any way we could.
Brad, that's awesome. We're actually talking about right now the website prototype repo where there have been some really quick iterations over getting some content onto Node.js.dev. Sorry, did I talk over somebody? I heard a bit of a noise.
Nope, you're good. I'm just I'm dropping links to the main repo in the chat if y'all get there.
Cool. I also see Agiri wrote, "I feel so left out." I'm not sure. Is it because we can't hear Agiri?
Oh no, it's because he missed being here.
I just miss being here.
Good to see you, Agiri.
Awesome. Yeah, so just to finish off that context there, the work that's being done in website prototype is related to the website redesign work. And so we're just going through that to make sure all the issues over there have an owner or are surfaced so an owner can find them so we can get them PR'd in as soon as possible. There's some issues that should be dealt with sooner rather than later. I think there are about 4, and hopefully we're trying to prioritize those to get willing contributors on them ASAP.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Brad. Okay, back to the agenda. So we have a couple of to-dos there. Tierney, I see, has already started doing research. So I guess we'll leave that to do async, and I'll go back to the project one and website prototype. If anyone wants to follow along on the project board that we're triaging right now. There. Oh, okay. Adam already just put it there. Great. Issue number 23, add writer attribution to each learn page from markdown front matter metadata.
I can give a little context on this if my microphone is actually working right now.
Totally, it is. I hear you.
Yeah, cool. So awesome. I'll feel free to talk. Everybody just start laughing and making faces when I start getting all glitchy. So we had this awesome donation of content donated from an awesome documenter called Flavio. But as we keep getting more and more people, contributing documentation and adding edits, like they're going to start adding their information to the tops of these markdown files. I would be very sad to see this thing rolled out without attribution to Flavio, because he made this incredibly generous and huge contribution, which is why this thing seems possible right now. And it would be awesome to have at the very bottom a byline of all the contributors to each documentation page. Right now, it's going to be a lot of Flavio's name floating around, but it'll start getting more diversified as we start getting more contributions. So right now, inside the source markdown files, so for folks who maybe haven't looked at the code base, also something that happened in the last probably 48 hours is Miles pulled in that documentation folder we have in the currently in the website redesign repo. We pulled it into the prototype repo just to simplify the build. We can keep talking about architecture after marketing launch. But inside all these documentation files, these are the sources for all the documentation you see on the page. And you'll notice inside the individual markdown files, I'm dropping links in the chat, but anybody can go and open up one of the markdown files for one of the articles. If you go look at the raw section, a bunch of metadata is stored in what's called front matter. It's a extra syntax on top of the basic markdown syntax that lets you associate metadata with your markdown file. So right now there's an author field. And currently every single one just says Flavio Copes, who is the original author here. There's going to be probably a little bit of changes to this front matter data, like we should change author to authors and make it a comma separated list of usernames. And we can link directly to their GitHub URL or GitHub profiles from the data here. We might want to consider thinking about adding full names associated here and having some format for parsing that out of front matter data. And it would be really cool as a special, I think I probably commented in the ticket, as a special bonus task here, see if we can't pull Gravatar avatars from these names as well, or provide a way to link to that so we can make it look nice other than it just
sorry, for context, is this people who are contributing to the docs or to the website via GitHub?
To the docs, yeah. So anybody who has at the bottom of every one of these pages on the learn page, we should have like an author attribution. And I believe another site that does this well for documentation, I believe, is Webpack.
So I was going to suggest, sorry, not to interrupt you. Go ahead. Okay. So I was going to say that, sorry. One of the things that I've noticed actually at Microsoft with our docs is we do a lot of this, like all of our docs live on GitHub. We give attribution and we also actually list issues open against the specific doc page that you're looking at, which is a really interesting feature. And I think we just do that from the Git history. So you can pull most of this data from GitHub and automate it from the GitHub API instead of needing to do metadata around that. Like just automate it and not have to deal with maintaining it outside of maintaining the automation.
Awesome, even better. If that's something that that we can integrate sooner rather than later, then let's do it. I just pulled I just dropped a link to the Webpack docs. And Tierney, if you want to find an example on the Microsoft docs, we can also link to these in the ticket. literally something as simple as put a horizontal line in there. Link is webpack.js.org/concepts is the example I dropped in there.
Cool.
But they put an HR in there, add a title for contributors, and then just list them out. Like, I think that something as simple as that would be awesome. If we can pull from GitHub history, even better. That might be a little bit of extra magic in the build. That might get hard after we start sticking files in different repos, but we can certainly play with that. Yeah, we can. I think for MVP, what will be a faster turnaround is if we pull from the front matter info right now, and then we can have a larger infra task to figure out if we can pull metadata.
One thing I do want to say with that is, like, if we're going to do front matter, I very much want to document and hold us as a group to automating it, because that is not sustainable in the long run. And in Node, we have a problem with doing things that work in the short run but don't work in the long run. So I want to make sure we end up doing the things that will help us in the long run be sustainable in that way. So
Totally.
that I just want to put that out there, because I maintaining that manually is not okay in the long run.
Tierney, it sounds like you have context for how it could be made sustainable in the long run based on what you've seen at Microsoft and maybe elsewhere. I'm wondering if you want to be, if you're not actually taking on the issue, if you want to be available at least as a resource for someone to sync with on best practices.
Absolutely happy to do that. And, depending on what my next couple of weeks look like, I also might just be able to do it. Maybe not in the next 2 weeks, like finish it in the next 2 weeks, but build that part of the infrastructure out for us.
Right.
So,
great.
cool.
I'll just add your handle there directly. So unless you take it, people do know that they can ping you.
Yeah, let's also separate this out into two tasks, because one is a very short poll task of just like pulling we currently have front matter data. We have a launch sometime soon after the 15th. I'd be sad if Flavio didn't get attribution for all of his awesome content. So like, let's get the visual side of this working right now with the static front matter data we have, and let's have a second task open for automating the process, which I think definitely Tierney is a must-have for this to be sustainable in the long run. So anyone who wants to take this task as a small UI task, like data's all there. Let's just get it rendered on the page, and then we'll figure out automating where that data comes from over the next 2 weeks.
I can take the first version, but I have a small question. Wouldn't it be a huge overhead to move all the GitHub history if you move the documentation like a couple of days ago?
Yeah, because the documentation doesn't have a source of truth necessarily yet. We're going to have to probably get creative with the initial setup of that. Yeah, you're right about that. Because I believe because it all just got moved, all attribution will be to Miles at the moment if we just pull from GitHub history. So yeah, that's something that we'll have to talk about. That's why I want to split this up into 2 tickets so we're not blocked on like infrastructure stuff like this for the future.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, the UI doesn't look so great on an iPhone 6. It looks like it's just everywhere. I wish I can take a screenshot of it. It doesn't look great at all. It's barely readable.
Aguirre,
there's an issue.
Barely readable.
Aguirre, PR number 21 is adding mobile styles to the website. So there should be a preview link dropped in the PR. Try taking a look at that link. Oop, and my connection's unstable. Great. Try taking a look at that link and see if it looks better. If you see any bugs, take screenshots and drop them into that comment thread on that PR. That's what we'll be working on mobile styles.
Okay. And secondly, I was looking at it. Does it have anything like React elements for metadata? Like when you share a particular link, it's kind of retrieves just what that link is about. It's not like retrieving the entire link of the application. There's a way it works. I don't know if you ever tried it. It's React elements. Don't worry. I think I can work in it myself. Do you get me?
It's a little choppy, but
okay, like sharing the link Okay, let's take maybe you share a link that links to just introduction to Node.js. Yeah, like the metadata should the metadata should just be introduction to Node.js, not like Node.js.org.documentation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you're talking about share metadata. So like people share this on social
Yeah.
media. That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's important. Okay, let's make a ticket for that and put that in must do. That's big.
Also, I mean, on the topic,
I can basically work on it though. I can work on it myself. Like
awesome. Yeah,
work
Gary,
on
if you wanna make
can
the
you
ticket,
do in the next couple days?
I can do it in a few days. Like I just work on the template. Don't worry, I can fix it myself.
Guri, could you create the ticket and then assign it to yourself just so we can track it on the project board?
Sure, I'll do it myself. I'll do that now.
Thanks, Guri.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's a good catch. Did not think about social metadata. Oops.
Yeah, that's okay. He was talking about the social metadata. Yeah, that's we also didn't have that for like 3 years until I introduced it to the website. So
Cool.
let's please do that.
Yes,
that's a very important thing.
Yes, it is.
So to clarify, issue number 23 has been split up. Has the new issue been created yet? Is someone taking that on?
No, new issue has not been created. I can do that right now.
Super. I think you'd be able to add the detail to that. I'm still a little bit fuzzy on like how we're doing the separation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool.
And
well,
I
make that
something to in progress in it.
Yes, we can shift V1 into in progress, and we'll get you assigned to that. Cool. Let's while I'm making that ticket, let's chat a bit about number 32. Since that's the last one and must do until we make that social metadata ticket.
Mm-hmm. All right. Opening issue 32, add next and previous in every learn page. That sounds really important. Makes navigation a lot easier. Has there been any thought on how this was going to be implemented? It seems like you might just use whatever is already set up.
So the data is all on the page. We just need the UI added with the links in the right place. Should be fairly straightforward. Awesome. That would be amazing, Mohit.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Are you doing assignments, Adam? Like in this, like if I'm going to assign Mohit to this, that's how you're keeping track?
I would love to do that, but I believe people still need to be part of a member of the project in order to make this happen. So we need to go through the exercise to add people to the website redesign team in the project, which Tierney, you probably have a better understanding of the policies around adding new folks like that. But
yes, I believe there shouldn't be an issue.
Cool.
Like the hard part is you adding that, since you are, I can't add them anymore since I'm only owner via moderation. But since you're owner via ComCom share, you can just add them to the org as well as to the group.
Awesome.
So just yes, please go ahead and do that.
That I can do. I'll be able to get to that later tonight. I'm running off to hit the slopes after this.
Super. Okay, I was able to add Mohit. I think Mohit's already
project very yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think we're missing Laruna and actually I think that should be about it. So yeah, we can assign Mohit at the very least.
Lorena, if it's okay, I'll tag you in issue 23, just like in the comments. So I don't know, just like a stake in the ground that you've taken that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Beautiful. The history, assignee, Tierney.
Okay.
Cool. I made a stub issue for. Sorry, I made a stub issue for pulling in from GitHub history and assigned it to you, Tierney. It's issue number 48, and I will reference it in the V1 ticket as well. Cool. There you go.
Tagging
feel free to
people
fill it out with any details.
Without people being in the org, it doesn't suggest people, which is anyway. I'm just copying it from Zoom. Luckily, you're using the same handle.
Nifty.
Great. Okay, so it looks like all the tasks that are in must do have owners, except yeah, all the tasks in must do have owners or are about to have owners. So we should be able to move on to our to do column, unless someone wanted to add something here that was relevant or current. All right, I'll take the silence as consent to move on. First issue in that column is issue number 4. So it's from pretty early on. Adam, I believe you opened that. It was about creating internationalization spin-out meeting to talk shop. I see. And you've tagged open source on that. Does anyone know if internationalization has been having their regular bi-monthly meetings?
I'm not sure. I know Ben had to go away for a while because of child, and Zeke had been kind of maintaining it silently, or participating silently, just kind of keeping things running. So I think they're at a place where they're trying to get the gears going again, or spinning up again. Not that things died down, because they have an incredible amount of translations coming in, but they don't have the automation set up. Like the people working on the connection part, I think, have been a little lightly staffed more recently. So.
Okay. So it sounds to me that while the translations are coming in at a steady clip, the connection between the translations and the actual use of it is still being worked on and needs effort.
Yes.
Okay.
And this may play into a larger infrastructure talk we need to have. I think we need more information about where and how these translations are published and what the options are for us. But for translated content, we're going to need quite a few changes. For V1 here, English only, I think, is acceptable for the marketing launch. But we're going to want to fast follow with translations and make sure that this is set up before we actually, get too far in this process of setting up all this infrastructure.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the question I have for you, Adam, and that is, do you mean, continuing down the road with Node.dev, or do you mean kind of iterating on, as we're moving into Node.js.org? And I mean, I personally have a hard requirement of translation being working by the relaunch, but I was curious if you mean before that, or that's what you're talking about.
I would consider that a hard blocker before switching over the sites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus one to that, we're trying to set a standard, or we're not trying to, but Node.js by default tends to set a standard with stuff like this, and we don't want internationalization to not be present when we launch. That's my opinion. I think IETN and people might actually share that. But I won't speak for them. Maybe we need to loop them in at this point if they would have the most context on how the implementation should be used, like Tierney and Adam, you raised before. So this seems like the next action for this would be to reach out to their group, and this can move forward the moment they can have the bandwidth to help us out.
Yeah,
on this.
we probably need a.
Oh, the critical part you cut out.
I'd love to get that scheduled after.
Adam,
sorry. Sorry. We probably need a dedicated infra spin out meeting with IETN about this. Just to work out talk shop about the details. I'd love to get that meeting set up after we land this plane for the learn page, single page site. And then we can consider that like first major task after this thing lands. Yeah, that would be ideal.
Great. I'm adding a to-do about contacting IETN and champions after the first the first deployment lands. Is that it?
I think we can set up the meeting now if we schedule it for like late February, since we'll be done with the initial rollout by then.
Based on the fact that so far the champions of IETN have had pretty limited bandwidth, do we have a fallback on if say we don't manage to get like this meeting in place?
I would love us to not have to own that infrastructure, but if we need to, I guess we'll help maintain it since we're all part of the same project.
Okay.
But yeah, Manila, if you could help me out by trying to set up that meeting with ITN leadership, like that would be much appreciated.
Okay, I got that to do. I need to contact ITN champions for a meeting in late Feb. Great. Okay, so that's issue 4 with the next action. I'll just keep that open and move on to issue number 26, generate learn page, table of contents at build time. Oh, this is excellent.
Yep. So this thing, so right now in the mobile styles PR, I've actually removed all the tables of contents that are currently committed directly to the markdown files. They render really ugly on the page. They're not exactly nice, and it's something that we can do at build time. I would rather launch without tables of contents for each article, since none of them are particularly huge or long. But we should consider adding this again as a fast follow. On the desktop version of the site, there's room on what would be the right side, like a right column, a right bar, to have a table of contents for each page. As you get into tablet and mobile styles, that design or that like layout wouldn't work. But so we need some thought around where and how this goes. But again, there's 2 halves to this task. One is parsing out a table of contents and getting that data so we can render it. The other is just presenting it. I'm happy to work on presentation, but there's work to be done for pulling data out. But again, this is I don't think needed for MVP. But if people feel otherwise and think that tables of contents are required for getting the site out, like, I'd love to hear about that. I'll take silence as not a required feature, and we can follow up on this in a later meeting, since we all have, I think, if we were to consider this a sprint and assign ticket story points, we're all pretty well assigned with tasks. But if somebody feels like picking this up and trying to figure out how to parse out table of contents data as part of the Gatsby build from markdown files, like, go for it. That would be awesome. Otherwise, we'll follow up later.
Super.
What's our deadline on that one?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What's again our deadline for that ticket?
That would probably, there's no hard deadline, since we're tracking towards the .dev marketing launch. But I would call that a fast follow for the actual launch. ASAP would be the deadline, and before the site is done, which is very hand wavy, like we should get it done at some point. But yeah.
Well, I see. I'll just look into it.
Okay, awesome. That sounds great. I will assign that to you as well, which I can't because you're not part of the org, but I'm going to add you literally right now because that should happen.
Super. Does anyone else, while Adam adds Laruana to the org, does anyone else have a comment on this issue number 24 in website prototype? Sweet. For anyone following on YouTube, if you're confused about what we're talking about, I realize this is a departure from our usual flow. We're not on website redesign. We're triaging website prototype project 1, and I dropped the link in the original issue for this meeting in website redesign. I promise next time we'll have a better flow if we continue doing this. Okay, so no comments on issue 24. Oh,
well, I'm
sorry.
still curious about my question. Is there someone or some team working on the design?
We don't have a design for this yet. No, I can get a mock. I can get a mock together for what I think it could look like, and get that to you.
Okay, because my suggestion was in the PR I just wrote shortly that I will make the link look like another links we have on the we pass from the markdown, no markup, no
Awesome.
markdown.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah, for anything that has a design component to it, most of them will have a design and data side to it. Always feel free to open up a PR with it, looking not quite right, but with data flowing correctly, and we can iterate on look and feel in there, or in the PR. That I want us to not necessarily be blocked for data integration because we don't have a high fidelity mock for that feature yet. So, where we can separate out the two tasks, the two chunks of work, let's do that. So yeah, that sounds perfect. Also, you should have an invite for the website redesign team hanging out in your email, and if you accept that, we can actually assign you the tickets.
Woohoo! New member.
Yeah, welcome. Woohoo!
Super.
Should we move these tickets from to do to in progress? Well, there is the RP, I guess, in progress, but I don't know how to handle this.
For the table of contents at build time?
No, I'm talking about the edit button on GitHub.
I'm sorry, it was choppy. What was that?
I'm talking about the ticket, about the edit button.
Awesome. Issue number 25.
Yeah, because I open up RP on that and it's right now in progress. I don't know, should we add only RPs or issues into this board?
Oh, I see.
Because it gets a bit confusing. Yeah,
so that is a workflow problem we're going to have to figure out. I really wish GitHub let you actually showed like the links to PRs from issues in these project boards. Let's only keep issues in this. If there is an associated issue, let's only have the issue inside the project board. And then we can follow the thread from that issue to the open PR. Just make sure you reference the issue in your PRs. There are some that are kind of PR only. So we can have the PRs in here if that's the case. But yeah, so I just dragged the edit this page on GitHub issue for this is issue number 25. Just drag that into in progress. And I saw, yeah, you have the functionality implemented over here. Awesome. And let's take a look at the demo link. That is awesome that this is implemented. Yeah, let's iterate on design in this PR. We often don't have high fidelity mocks coming through quite yet because we're still looking for that dedicated designer to help out with all this. But this later tonight or tomorrow morning, just like with the nav links, I think I should be able to go and take a pass and try and make it pretty. Or if you have confidence in your CSS skills, go for it. Come up with a proposal for how it should look and just push it up to the PR and we'll take a look at the demo link. We don't have buttons. So at some point, just like how I did with the color spec and how all the standard colors are committed in the main CSS file, I'm hoping to get together like a design system Z button spec proposal for the new website, which will help simplify a lot of this. We're hoping to go design system Z with this so people can come in, pick design features, off out of the design system and just plug and play on the site. But since this is the first 2 weeks of this thing existing, it's we're still laying that groundwork. So yeah, do you want me to take a pass at design for that link, or should or would you like to just take a stab at it?
No, I will just give it a go, and then at the end we can still look if everything's okay and everyone likes it.
Beautiful. That sounds perfect. I'll leave it up to you then.
Super. Before we move on or continue a long discussion for this issue, I just wanted to make sure we have space for people who haven't said anything yet in this meeting. We typically tend to do that just in case people are just getting onboarded into whatever we're doing, so we can help add context if you're missing any or you would like to ask a question. All right, cool. Shall we move on to the next issue, folks?
Yeah, let's keep on keeping on.
Okay, so after issue number 24, in the same list, we have issue number 48, which is the product of an earlier discussion. So we're just going to skip over that. It's just a bit out of order. I don't think these the GitHub board sorts by issue number. It's just wherever you drag them. Okay, so we'll move on to issue number 35, navigation only working when clicked on text. Going to issue for full details. I believe this is an issue opened by Mohit and already identified as a bug by Adam. Does this issue have an owner yet that we are not aware of?
Nope, no owner yet.
Sweet. Okay. Sounds like a small fix to me. I haven't touched the code for this space yet, but it looks like a small fix. Maybe someone could take that on. Is this the sort of thing that we can start labeling good first issues if it's a project that's actually like generating?
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to label this good first issues. I think it's really cool that we can actually put good first issues and stuff that's moving at a brief clip. Great, good first issue. Also, it's not, we don't need to pull it necessarily like this is not a must-have to do, or what was it that you called it, must do? So
must do.
Yeah, so we have flexibility on time. So I've just labeled that as a good first issue. If anyone here wants to take it, go for it. Otherwise,
hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm going to take that.
Yay. Awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Super.
Throw your name in the issue, tag yourself in the issue to claim it.
Okay. I'm pasting that in here unless you already have it. I'm sorry, is it Ahmad? I think this window had 2 people on it, but there's no video now, so I don't. Okay. Yeah, so I'm throwing that in there. I believe Ahmad or friend also in that window might be taking that on. You can add in the comments for that issue, feel free to, actually it would be great if you added your GitHub handle to it, just so we know that you've taken that on. Because I believe it's your first time in this meeting, so we won't have any other way to track. Or it'd be great, like if you were to ask us questions, we'd know who they were coming from. Otherwise, if you have any, if you're having any issues adding your handle, drop your GitHub handle in the chat over here, and I'll paste it into the issue myself.
I will add the GitHub, my GitHub link to the issue. Don't worry.
Awesome, thank
you.
Super.
Thank you. And I think that wraps up all the issues that we wanted to triage. Everything else seems to be in progress or is done. At this point,
yeah. We're also coming up on time, so I would call that a successful first sprint planning, y'all. Good job.
Hey Manil, do we want to ping people who showed interest in like development on the website redesign repo?
Totally, Mohit. Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. That is, it seems like some people have seen that there is some progress made on this, but a lot of people who volunteered to help with site development have not yet seen that there is movement in an entirely separate repo, which totally makes sense because why would they? They aren't watching that repo. They were watching website redesign. So
yes.
So we're proposing that we, I suppose, tag all the people who are there maybe in the issue. That might be a good way. Tag everyone who has added themselves to the list in the README. We'll tag them in that issue and point them at this website prototype project board. Does that work for all the active people who are already in website prototype project board? Like there might be an incoming number of people who you will probably having to help on board to triage issues. So they're coming your way.
Cool. I'm down for that. More the merrier.
Super. Mohit, would you like to take on adding them, at mentioning all the people who added themselves to the README? Otherwise, I'm happy to do it, but I thought maybe you'd be interested.
I can take it.
Sweet. Is awesome. And now we're closing the loop on everyone who we put out an open call to. That sounds.
So do we want to create an issue, or like how do we mention?
Unless website prototype has a way that they would prefer, I would suggest at mentioning them in the issue and giving them the link, but go for it, Adam.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't think we have a preference here. Let's open the issue in website redesign, since that's the repo they're familiar with, and then we'll like give them a brief synopsis of what we're trying to accomplish in website prototype and what this first pass is for just getting the learn page out. And that we'll be planning more and more work for sub pages after its launch. And then we'll mention everybody who's on the list and who is interested in the development phase and point them towards that repo to help out.
Super. I think issue 140 in website redesign should suffice, Mohit. What do you think?
Let me check 148. Is it 148?
140. Yeah, that looks like a good issue to do it with. Got the link in the chat.
I'll mention those are fine.
Awesome.
Hey folks, do I need to mute myself?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're okay. Very late in the background. Yeah. I can hear it, but it doesn't matter. It's not distracting. At least to me. I spoke for everyone there, so.
Yeah, let me know if anyone.
Yeah. Cool. And actually, since it's 10 o'clock now, y'all, I have to run. There's a group heading out to hit the slopes, but I am so excited and so proud of this group for what we've been able to pull together in such a short amount of time, and I'm psyched to see this get more and more polished. So
this is super. Here's a proposal to repurpose this meeting along with website redesign content, which we'll bring up to speed to also be the meeting for website prototype.
Yeah, so I think the intent of the website prototype is just to give a place where we can work on code exclusively. Website prototype is fully owned by Website Redesign Working Group.
Okay, fair point. So
yeah,
it's kind of implied that it's...
Yeah, it's the code counterpart to the Website Redesign admin repo. And we should probably make that clear in the Website Redesign README. So let's open up a ticket and make the language tweaks we need to represent that properly.
Super. Okay, so we're at time. We're 1 minute over time. Thank you for sticking around, folks. I still do want to give a couple of seconds to anyone who wanted to say something because we meet every other week. All right. If there isn't anything, we can discuss everything async in issues on website redesign. Super excited to see you all there next time. Bye, folks. We're ending the live stream.
Bye.
Yeah, awesome. See you all there. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
I was waiting to see if I needed to. Oh. Did we start the stream again?